Great. Hi, my name is Sandy Carter, and we are back with another very special guest. In fact, an author of one of my favorite books, The Social Employee. This is Cheryl Burgess. She is the co-founder, CEO, CMO of Blue Focus Marketing. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you so much for having me. So the last time we spoke was during Hurricane Sandy, and I interviewed you for chapter 12 of my book, What is a Social Executive and How to Engage Them. And I was having a very difficult time trying to write that chapter, and Sandy, you helped answer the question.
Oh, that's so nice.
So I do thank you for that. So I need to ask you today, why should you have social executives? Why should you have them in your organization? Why should they be involved?
Well, I think it's really important to have an executive who's social, because if you look at the employees, your whole business is built on employees, built on team members. And if you look at a social CEO, they generate more trust.
That's right.
They generate higher productivity.
Yes.
They really have a major impact on a workforce. And if you think about the bottom line impacts of that, it's amazing.
Right. That's a really good answer. And I have to ask you the second question that you really nailed it. I mean, nailed it. I have been telling the world about your answer for number 2, which is how do you get them involved and how do you find them engaged, get them engaged? And you answered me that you need to start with their comfort zone. Could you tell us a little bit more about their comfort zones and some of the things you did with your clients? Because you gave some great client examples on comfort zones.
Yeah, so one of the things that's really interesting is a lot of CEOs today aren't social. They don't really understand it. And you're probably not going to teach an old dog new tricks.
Right.
Not to say that a CEO is an old dog, but you're probably not going to teach them something brand new. So one of the things that we did is we approached the senior executives where they live.
Right.
I gave you an example of one CEO who still used dictation.
Yes, that's in the book.
That's in the book. And so instead of you trying to switch and getting him to blog, and type things in, we actually set up dictation and voice recognition where he could still dictate his blog, and then that would go right with one button press straight into his blog. Another great example I gave was one gentleman CEO was saying, all I do is email. I don't do anything else but email. And so we made it really easy for him to actually email. He hit a button, instead of it sending it out, it actually posted it to his blog. So he then got that active engagement as he moved forward. So I think if you can engage your CEO where he or she feels comfortable, you'll have much more success.
Well, that's a great answer. I hope that 2014 is the year of the social executive, and I really feel strongly about that. We have so many initiatives around that, and the reasons they need to empower their employees, they need to instill them with the mission, the vision, the values to make that a social business. So having said that, I have to say my personal experience is Tom Peters. Tom Peters is on Twitter, and he's actually endorsed my book as the #1 best social business book, and Tom Peters loves to be on Twitter. So for me, that's my personal experience dealing with a social executive, and I continue that conversation today with Tom Peters, and I hope he's listening. But I have to ask you, how has social media and social business impacted your life as an executive? Can you share something personal that's impacted you?
Yeah, it's made me much more aware of so many different people who are seeking knowledge. So let me give you a great example. I was going to India, Mumbai, and as I was going there, I tweeted that I was going to be there, and said I was going to come for this IBM conference. Well, when I showed up at the hotel general manager came over and he said, hey, all those people that are waiting for you, it got really big, so we put them over here in a room. I was like, oh, that's interesting. How many IBMers did they bring? Well, it turns out I went down to the room, I opened the door, people were partying and listening to music. I said, oh, this can't be the IBMers. So I went back out, talked to the general manager, and he goes, no, those people are here for you. So when I went back in the room, pretty soon, a gentleman came running up to me, and he was the social media club leader for the social media club in India. Wow. And he saw my tweet that I was coming to Mumbai.
That's amazing.
He decided that he would let everybody at the social media club of Mumbai know I was coming. And so they all showed up at the hotel. This was at 11 p.m. at night, 150 people.
Oh my God.
They were all in this room.
What a great story.
They wanted us to present social business to them and talk to them about best practice. This is at 11 p.m. at night.
Oh my God, that's the best story ever. I wish I had that for the book.
Well, So the great thing it taught me was that they felt like they were friends with me, that I was part of their community, because I was tweeting with them, I was communicating with them. They asked me about my kids. It was just such an aha moment for me. The impact that you could have halfway across the world on a group of people who felt so close to you that they would show up at night, 11 to 1 a.m. in the morning, to listen to social.
That's a wonderful story. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate it, and I thank you again, and I hope together we could collaborate in future conversations about the social executive, because I think that's an important story. We're not going to have a social employees or social business unless we start to get social executives starting to dip their toes in the social media pool, not have this fear factor, and just to encourage them to listen to unvarnished voices of their employees. There's so much to gain. Brands cannot communicate externally unless they first communicate internally.
Yes. Now, I'm in complete agreement with that, and I think one of the other great things, just real quickly, is IBM started a Blue IQ program for executives, so we could reverse mentor, which I also think is crucial. Well, I think our time is up. I could stay here.
We could talk all night. This is wonderful.
This is Cheryl. She's the author of this best-selling book, The Social Employee. I highly recommend that you grab the book, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.